What's going on, everybody? It's Hilarious D. Welcome inside the first episode of Funny Talk. And I'm joined by a special guest today. Someone who's very inspirational, motivational in my beginnings to this podcast and interviewing thing, if you will. A guy who, or I believe that, gives a lot to the community. He also takes a lot from the community and try to help everyone as much as he can. A very cool guy, down to earth guy, a funny guy. You guys might know him. You probably seen him on Coming to the Stage, Jimmy's Crickets, This Is Us. He's everywhere, man. None other than Dominic A. Parker.
Thank you so much, Denzel. Look, you always give me such glowing reviews. I appreciate it so much.
Got to, like you said before the before the take two, you gotta get your roses while you're still here, man. You gotta get them.
Yeah.
So let everyone know where you from and this, that, and the third. You know the basics so far.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm actually 35, so March baby. Pisces in the house. I actually was born up north in Pennsylvania, but am a southern boy at heart. So I'm currently right now living in Columbus, Georgia, which is about I always want to say an hour and a half, but it's 2 hours south of Atlanta, Georgia. But pretty much grew up in the Atlanta area, so yeah, just living and doing what I'm doing. Yeah.
Good. So right off the bat, I mentioned a few of your shows and things like that. We're going to touch base with This Is Us. Obviously, you know, I did an interview for This Is Us. So my first question is, what made you want to do a show based on promoting people in the blind community?
So, I had never, before I lost my sight, which I lost my sight in 2012, and while I was going through the process, it really felt like the only people that I knew that were going blind were older people. So I was like, okay, wait a minute, where are all the people my age or the younger people at? So, you know, the Reader's Digest version, eventually I ended up meeting a friend and they introduced me to a couple of Facebook groups. And the first one being Blind Pen Pals. So I thought, okay, cool. And you go in the group and it's thousands of people, and I'm just like, Jesus, all these blind people my age, older, younger than me. But the crazy thing is, it was like, for there to be so many people, nobody, at least from what I remember, nobody was really communicating like that. So I was like, how can it be all these thousands of people in here and nobody is saying anything to one another? So I said, okay, you know what? Let's do this. I can talk to a hole in the wall, and I can make the hole in the wall want to tell me to shut up. So, and so I figured, why not start interviewing people? And I felt like that is what was gonna spark off the want to say, okay, well, cool, you know, I'll interview Denzel. Denzel will tell me what he likes, what he's good at, you know, what aspirations he has, what he wants out of life. And then hopefully him just sparking that fire will make other people say, you know what, hey, well, I would like to get to know a little bit more about Denzel as well. And then that kind of just spun off into its own little thing. Everybody wanted to get interviewed, and it just kind of became a thing. So, yeah.
Right, because I noticed, again, in my journey with this content creation thing, is that once they see someone who's already well known in the community do it, it's like, oh, well, that was painless, that was harmless. Yo, let me get that contact off you.
Right, exactly.
Because, like, you interview people who, like, in my opinion, compared to myself, speaking for myself only, they are some big people in their respective community, in their countries and things like that. So for them to do something like that, it's like, you know, wow, if that person can do it, and it's coming from a good place, you know, some content creators put it out there and it's like, you know, it's a whole bunch of shade behind closed doors, you know. But
you know, and the crazy thing behind it, and I look at it like this. I feel like everybody has something to offer. Now, again, as you can, vouch for yourself, I've talked to people who, have met prime ministers and gone to UN meetings, but then I've talked to people who were just single, family parents, making it in this world. And the funny thing is that the way I look at it is that I feel like each person, regardless of your financial abilities, regardless of whatever your if you have any mental handicaps, whatever your status is in life, we all have something to offer. I've learned things from what most people would consider to be the people who are on the lower end of the totem pole. But I just feel like that's the beauty behind all of it. Is that, again, like I said, you never know what the next person has to teach you. I think once we close ourselves off from wanting to learn, that's when the growth stops. And so I think that was the biggest thing, like you said, because, when you're talking about, wow, you interviewed this person and I learned this, in my mind, I was just like, okay, well, cool, like, I felt like that person had something to give to the community. If it was the fact that they played the guitar, or the fact that they, was, like I said, a single parent raising kids on their own. Hell, us being blind is enough of an accomplishment within its own right to be able to have something to brag about. So, yeah.
Agreed. And that's why I'm at with mine with Funny Talk, is that a lot of us don't know that some of these services or these people even exist in our community. Not speaking for myself in this sense, coming from Baltimore, where we got thousands and hundreds of blind schools, and you see blind people in the city on a daily. There's other places who have 1, 2, maybe even 6 people in their own town, let alone in their own state or country.
Yeah.
Yep. Good.
It's crazy. And like, I know me personally, especially having grown up in the South, and again, this is no judgment call for anybody, I've always felt like the South has always been kind of, let's say, late to the party when it came to dealing with people with disabilities, because I just feel like, and I don't know what the stigma is, but obviously, because I've been to Baltimore a couple of times, and it's like, like you said, to see that, or to see, like, other people out, and, other blind people, that is, like, other blind people out navigating on their own, or, just living, and then the schools, and then the activities, you rarely ever see things like that, at least down here in Georgia. It's almost like if you see a blind person out walking by themselves, it's like seeing a 3-headed snake. So it's just like, I wish that, more people within our community had the opportunity to experience what places like Baltimore has to offer.
So, and that's good. So you don't have to ask this question if you don't want to, but right now, let the people know, what was your favorite interview?
See, now you done put me on the spot.
Now remember, you got hundreds of interviews now.
Right. Wow. Okay. Shoot. Favorite interview. I don't want to say it's my favorite, but the first one always holds a special place in my heart. Only simply because, and for those of you guys who do not know, I actually interviewed Alicia Brandley, who actually is sighted, but was an advocate for the blind community. But she actually was my first interview, and the reason why her interview holds a special place in my heart was because, like many, that was my first time ever getting on camera, being blind, and just really getting out there, y'all. I like when I was going live on Facebook, and I don't know if live just was not working or what, and it kicked me off, and I was like, what? So I had already pumped myself up, and live kicked me off. So I just literally went into like panic mode. I'm having like a panic attack. They're like calling me, come on, Dominic, you can do it. So I'm literally like trying to psych myself up. They're texting me, come on. And I was like, okay, come on, I can do it. And then I got through it. And still to this day, I look back at that interview like, wow, that was my pivotal moment to be able to say, okay, now blind justice is finally here. Like, now I've made it, and now I know that I can do anything.
Okay, so there you go, Alicia Brantley. You heard it first. You are Dominic's favorite interview. And yeah, and people don't know, and I'm just getting into it, but already I get frustrated. I think within my first day of trying to put together a podcast, I probably called you like 1,000 times in that day with this trying to get the podcast even going as far as editing it and things like that. So definitely big ups to you on that part. I'm gonna get out of the way now. It's actually sticking with it and having hundreds of videos that people can watch on the daily.
Right. Thank you.
So my next question, well, leading to my next question rather, in my opinion, you correct me if I'm wrong right now, when you lose your sight, is it safe to say, it's really a two-part question, is it safe to say that you change, and if so, in what regards, based off of yourself? Like, what was Dominic like before he lost his sight?
So again, you'll never believe it. I literally was one of those wild kids, like just doing whatever the hell I wanted to. Just really living life by the seat of my pants. My mother has this saying, and she always says some people literally have to scrub the ground before they get the lesson. And I guess me losing my sight was me literally scrubbing the ground. And the funny thing is that, I think a lot of people look at, losing your sight or something like that as traumatic, or, wow, your life is over. But to be honest with you, it really, and look, shout out to Triple Crown. It really, and they dubbed me, obviously I was named the King of the Phoenix. And so it really made me feel like I was really starting anew. So for me, and I feel like my story is a little bit different than probably most people's, I looked at me losing my sight almost as if getting a chance to start over, or getting a second chance to, make things right, or to leave my mark on this world. So, yeah, to me, does it have its challenges? Yes, absolutely. Not being able to drive anymore, or having to make sure that if I'm going to go somewhere, I take extra precaution or steps to accomplish it, as opposed to, I want to go to the store, here I go, in that aspect, yes, things do change, but, I think just like anything, when you want something bad enough, you make it happen. And, it's almost like this unstoppable force of passion, of like just unrelenting, just, I don't even know what word to use, just effort, or, just all of that, to just say, okay, this is what's on my mind, I'm not going to stop till I get it, no matter what gets in my way. And I think that's kind of the mentality that losing my sight has given me. Okay. And so in what way, in what way, or did losing your sight, well, you already answered that question, but you can say that losing sight did change you, it gave you I guess a broader or more open-minded sense about the world? Yeah, I think, and sadly to say, I was one of, because I had never really interacted with blind people before I lost my sight either. So I was one of those kind of, I hate to say it, but ignorant kind of people who really didn't know a lot about the disabled community. So it really taught me, and hell, I'm still learning it, to really kind of be open-minded and recognizing that, there's other people out here with other struggles who are going through other things. So I think that's pretty one of the main things that it kind of taught me is, hey, be open-minded and don't be so closed off to so many things that are taking place around you as well.
Agreed, and same here, man. I have never made fun of blind and or handicapped or deaf people, but I had friends who would make fun of people like that. And one day they did make a fun of a blind person. Of course, I chuckled a little bit because it's human nature to laugh at something that's funny, but not knowing that 2 or 3 months later I would be in the same position as that blind person walking down the street.
Right.
And this at 9 years old. So I only imagine losing your sight and later in life, in your adulthood, and then you have to learn how to do everything over again. So, which brings me into my next question. Do you have any advice for someone who is going through a vision loss or recently lost their vision? What inspirational or motivational message can you give to them?
I would probably say, for the most part, is it gonna be hard? Yes. Although I feel like sometimes my wording can be harsh and probably straight and in your face, I feel like a lot of times the truth or that kind of non-biased, unrelenting honesty can sometimes prepare us for what might be coming in the future. So, is it gonna be hard? Yes. Are you gonna have your challenges? Yes. My only piece of advice is to say, what, hey, we all go through struggles in life. You can sit down and talk to somebody who is, deaf, or who might be mentally handicapped, or even other things that, maybe like, if we're talking about like somebody who is in a bad relationship, or in a bad financial situation. All of us are going to have our crosses to bear. Now, that's not to diminish whatever it is that you may have, but recognize that just because you have that cross to bear, life is not over. There's always an upside. There's always a way to do it. Just never give up. Because I know I refuse to ever give up, right. But never give up, because I'm telling you, two things. One, somebody's always got it a whole lot worse than you. Yep. Always. Trust and believe somebody's got it worse than you. And two, I live my life in effort, and I don't know who's religious out there, but God has shown me that no matter where you are and what you do, somebody's always watching you. Yep. You could possibly be setting the example for someone. Yep. So always remember that what you do could be inspiring somebody. What you do could be educating somebody or motivating. So that's kind of the way that I live. So that would be my best piece of advice.
Exactly. So now on to Jiminy Cricket's Corner, a show that I pay attention a lot to. Is a very, very informational and good show for those who are in the world in general, not just blind people, in the world in general. There's some questions that you can relate to, and I actually had a chance to sit in your seat one time. The hardest thing I ever do in my life, honestly. I'm not one of the people to try to fill another person's shoes or sit in another person's seat, because let's be honest, it's hard to do any of those things, especially when the person's already doing it at a level where people are used to seeing it,
Right.
So, I guess the people probably want to know, where did Jiminy Cricket's Corner come from, or why did you start doing it?
So, two things. First, obviously the title. Jiminy Cricket is obviously a character from Pinocchio. He actually is a cricket who was tasked to be Pinocchio's conscience. And so, and obviously I'm sure you guys may know a little bit about the movie, but again, Pinocchio's trying to be a real boy and has to act in certain ways to get the wish granted for him to be a real boy. And so while he's going on all of these little trips and things of that nature, he has Jiminy Cricket, who was there kind of trying to, navigate him or give him little tidbits of advice and stuff like that. All the while, Jiminy Cricket is still, I don't want to say human because he's a cricket, but he's his own entity. So of course, like, he gets frustrated with Pinocchio. He wants to leave, he doesn't understand, but he knows that now he's tasked to be Pinocchio's conscience. I felt like for me that was the premise of the show, was that I wanted to be able to sit up and give advice, all the while keeping in mind that, hey, I'm human too, and I make mistakes, and to be able to say, hey, this is what's worked for me. Which brings me to part number two. I've always loved being around the elderly. It's just something about sitting down around like your grandparents or, those older people, and then just listening to that wealth of knowledge and, them sharing those stories and those little, old country sayings that they use. And you'd be like, what? Where did y'all get that from? But when I tell y'all, and I always tell people, go sit down with your grandparents. Go sit down with, some people at the old home shelter or whatever. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised with how much knowledge you would walk away from. And so I wanted Jiminy Cricket's Corner to be something similar to that. I wanted the viewer to be able to sit down and be like, okay, you know what? I get it now. Now it makes sense. Or to say, hey, this is possible an option. I may not agree with what Dominic's talking about, but hey, maybe I could try this. That was really my main goal.
Right, and it seemed like you had a good back end. What I mean by back end, people were actually writing into you, whether it was reoccurring people or not. But my next question is for Jiminy Cricket's Corner is that, or I can say, what was your most touching moment during that show? A question that kind of blew you away, or a question that was like, you know what, I was in this person's shoes, some time ago. I know exactly how to answer this question.
So, when I started the second season of Jiminy Cricket, I really wanted to make a change. I didn't really want, because I felt like the first season was me just going, well, Denzel, you need to do this, and this is what's going to work, because it worked for me. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me try a different approach. So for the second season, I decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to talk about things, but I'm going to put myself up on the chopping block and make myself vulnerable by talking about personal situations that I've been involving whatever the topic of the day is. So it's actually funny. I want to say the first episode of the second season of Jiminy Cricket, I was talking about friendship. And the funny thing was, it was like, I had been asked, like what friendship was and what it meant to me and how important it was and how to know if it was friendship or not realizing, or at least the viewer or the person who asked the question, not realizing that I was going through a serious turmoil with a really good friend of mine. So it was like, okay, wow, like how can I sit up here and say this and then look at what I'm going through? And I had to make the decision that, okay, you know what? I'm going to be completely open and vulnerable and say, hey, I don't have the answers, and, share a little bit about what was going on with me at that time with the viewer, and say, you know what, hey, let's go through this together, and let's figure out how we would navigate through that. And for me, that was a hard episode. I'm sure you are aware as well, Denzel, how intense that situation was, and how it took a toll on me and the other person, and just having to deal with that. So yeah.
Got you. So do you get questions from international folks, like people from, I don't know, England, Australia, Spain, Puerto Rico, you name it?
So the funny thing is that I actually had somebody from Thailand ask me a question. Yeah, and the crazy thing is like when I get messages or praise or questions or inquiries about shows that I do, and like you said, you're like, wow, this person is in like Malaysia, this person's in India, this person's in Africa. You're like, wow, like little old me, little old country Dominic from Columbus, Georgia. But it goes to show you how vast sometimes your reach can be, and just as, okay, wow, I am affecting people. So yeah. Again,
a great show, if you will. I definitely enjoy that. Some questions I can relate to that some people have. And I mentioned earlier, like I did it before, and it was live in a blind group that we was in. And I think I got like 6 questions, and even trying to answer those 6 questions took a toll on myself. So I know you have multiple videos on top of multiple videos, so to sit there and be able to answer the question the best way you can without offending that person is a very, very tough thing to do. What do you say?
No, I definitely agree. I know that a lot of times I'm learning in life as I get older that we're not all going to agree on things. But I would hope that the people who ask me those questions, friend, relative, acquaintance, or even stranger, would hopefully appreciate the honesty. Because, it's one thing if you're like, well, Dominic, do you like this shirt? And I'm like, yeah, and the shirt is ugly, as opposed to, no, Denzel, I really think that you should wear this shirt. You may not like my answer, but I think ultimately in the end, you would appreciate the fact that I was honest with you.
I agree.
And to be able to go on. So I think that's kind of what, because again, it is a struggle, but that I think was what really motivated me to say, okay, Dominic, although you want to be nice, is nice helping them, or is being honest and being real helping them?
I agree. So now we're on to the part that people, I guess, are still here waiting around to hear about, and that's coming to the stage again. A very, very exciting time in my life. I really cannot wait to watch those episodes. There are some good performers. There are some performers that So with that being said, and coming to the stage is a show where Dominic has a gang of people come on there and sing different songs from challenges that he has created himself. And coming to the stage is not the traditional talent show, in my opinion. And here's why I say so. When you think talent show, people just get on the stage and they do whatever, for whoever, however, with no structure. That's just my opinion. Kill me later. Coming to the stage is structured, is organized, and is entertaining. So, Dominic, can you let us know why Coming to the Stage is not the traditional talent show, in a way?
So, and I'm actually glad to hear you say that. Y'all listening, if y'all don't know nothing else about me, look, if it ain't rigid and structured and planned, it ain't me. So if it's sloppy, then know that ain't got nothing to do with Dominic A. Parker. But
no,
for me, I felt like Coming to the Stage, which actually was previously known as the Blind Lounge Talent Show, to me was an opportunity for people within the blind community and outside the blind community to really just get out there and, showcase their talent. I think that along with like This Is Us, I really just, I felt like, okay, wow, it's all these people out here who can play instruments and sing and spoken word and dance and stuff like that, and why not give them the opportunity to share that? And so, okay, you know what? Let's get it started. And of course, who wants to just see, a regular talent show? Like you said, okay, you get up there, sing, woo woo, okay, go on about your business. There was a certain aspect of it that I felt like was going to really draw people in if I can get the audience involved. Who doesn't like a good competition? Who doesn't get motivated, or who doesn't get inspired or pumped to be like, oh man, who's the best? Or who's better, or who did it better than the other? And so I think that's kind of where that whole aspect came into play. I never knew, and this is me coming from a true, honest place. When I first started the talent show, never once did I ever think that it was going to take and grow legs and take off like it has. Mm-hmm. We literally are about to end the 4th season of the fourth. And even now, as the 4th season is starting to come to an end, I literally have more people reaching out to me to do a 5th season. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy. You asked why it's different. Like you said, I'm a big music buff, all types. Although I may not be well versed in all genres of music, I may dip a toe in here or there and kind of know a little bit enough to where I can kind of, give a little bit of suggestions. Maybe not, like I said, I haven't dove all the way in, but just enough information to kind of, converse amongst the people. So I always, like you said, I always thought it was always so plain to just, okay, well, Denzel, get up there and sing a song, woo, you get off. The beauty behind competition is that it makes people grow and it tests their skill. So I would always come up with challenges. Of course, naturally, if I'm used to singing R&B, it's gonna force me out of my comfort zone if I'm now forced to sing country, or if I'm now forced to sing a rap number, and then you get to see the growth. And I think that was the amazing thing, was because you got to see more, and even outside of the genres, which I mean, dude, they've done Broadway, they've done TV show theme songs, they've done. I mean, it's crazy. It's literally crazy, and I live for it, because y'all as the audience, y'all really get into it, and every season, I'm like, wow. These people really enjoy this show.
I mean,
go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, even as a participant in the audience, man, I feel like I'm watching Star Search. What is it? The Masked Singer. I think you should do an episode on that, but we'll talk about that later. Like, I treat like one of those shows because it's interesting, even though we already know who these people are because they're getting introduced. We actually get to know them on another level, and it's through music.
Right.
And I know even in doing this show, you have to be a counselor, if you will, doing this, because you might get a performer who isn't used to singing in front of people, or who might be nervous about an upcoming episode. So it gives you a chance to interact with people, build your social skills, if you will.
What you said. It's naturally, just like anything else, people have lives. Have people who are dealing with family issues, relationship issues, job issues. Their own personal issues. So again, it's hard, and I'm not a singer, so I'm obviously a host. I'm not necessarily contestant. So I can only imagine, like I said earlier, and it's the funny thing is Nick Taskmaster, because I'm literally, okay, y'all, come on, let's get it. So I can imagine the type of pressure sometimes that can bring on. And literally from season 1 all the way to season 4, all the contestants, if you guys are watching, I appreciate each of you guys, because again, when I've asked for it, you guys have shown up. And, personally, I know that is a hard task, to be able to say, okay, wow, well, this 7 days I got to produce this, and then once this episode goes up, I got to turn around and produce something else all over again. And I know that sometimes can be stressful. I know that sometimes can be a little, just hard and time consuming, especially, with music being a real creative endeavor. For a lot of people, and having to perfect the song, or make sure your vocals are right, or make sure that your creativity is on point. It's a whole process, especially if you're doing it because you love the craft.
Got it. Oh, that's good. Once again, you definitely can find all of these shows. Matter of fact, Dominic, go ahead and tell the people where they can find all these shows. I know where, but you tell them where.
Okay, so I actually am on Facebook and YouTube currently, and the name of the Facebook page and the YouTube page is Blind_Justice. So again, it's spelled just like how it sounds, BLIND_JUSTICE, semicolon, the way I see it. I'm actually on Instagram as well. Let's see, where else am I at? I'm actually currently trying to branch out into TikTok and things of that nature, and also I'm maybe trying to put a little podcast or something together. So again, things are really kind of in the works, but for the most part, if you're really looking for a lot of the content that has been put out already, I would definitely say go to Facebook or to YouTube. Those are going to be the quickest and easiest ways to find them.
Got you. And if y'all stick around long enough, it might be something special at the end of this interview for you guys to watch. So we have come to pretty much almost the close of the interview, but before you get out of here, we gotta play a game.
Oh Lord.
I'm always trying to do things different. I'm trying to make it as fun and interactive for you guys coming up on the interview, and for you guys to watch at home. So this game is pretty much, it's the hot seat. I'm going to throw out some things, and all you got to do is give me the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
So right off the bat, we're going to start with music, since you are a music genius, fanatic, whatever you want to throw in there.
Okay.
So basically some genres of music. I want you to give me the first person that comes to mind.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Rock.
Nickelback.
R&B.
Trey Songz.
Pop.
Pop. Let's go with Justin Timberlake.
Soul.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Country.
Blake Shelton.
Oh my God. And for music, last one, gospel.
Okay, Fred Hammond.
Okay.
And only because I literally just listened to one of his songs this morning. I was like, okay, I see it.
Okay. And for the next portion, again, the first thing that comes to mind, if it is a statement or a comment, you can put in your own words. So, state of Georgia, first thing that comes to mind.
I don't know why, but I'm thinking about Georgia peaches. I don't know why, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
I mean, are they good? I mean,
you know, the crazy thing is I'm not really a peach fan,
okay.
So I don't know. Look, I don't even know why I said that. You just took the you just took the first thing. So I was like, okay, Georgia peach.
Okay, so I wish I could rattle off some famous people other than music people from Georgia, so I'll work on that. But again, I got some people from Georgia, so we're gonna go with Ludacris. First thing that comes to mind.
Roll Out. That's definitely something that one song comes to my mind. Roll out, roll out. So,
Atlanta Falcons.
Oh man, oh my God, what was the guy's name? He was a running back. God, dog. Denzel, don't put me on the spot. You know. What is the man's name? He was a running back, and I know his name. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, if not the running back, I will say that the second thing that came to my mind, at least, was Samuel L. Jackson when he did the Falcons Rise Up commercial. So I'll definitely say him. He probably comes on the second.
Okay, and for the state of Georgia, we're going to go with Atlanta. First thing that comes to mind.
The song "Welcome to Atlanta." Okay. Welcome to Atlanta, where the plays play. I mean, that's definitely the first thing that comes to my mind.
I thought you would have said Magic City.
Oh wow!
I mean, I've been there, passing through there, and I've been, in my roundabouts, and like we always talk about. As soon as you get out the bus, that's the first thing you see, man.
There it is. I mean, and I always said, what up, look, and I'm looking at it like, this is still horrible. Like, literally, as you get off the Greyhound bus, as you're stepping off the bus, right across the street, bam, Magic City, you can't miss it.
As soon as you get
so
off
it's
the
like,
bus,
I guess they get them as they come off the bus.
And, well, second to last, Blind Community. First thing that comes to mind.
You know what? And I always say this, Baltimore, for me, and I feel like this is so typical, but Baltimore really is the first thing that comes to my mind, only simply because, like I said, I don't know if it's just like the blind hub, but as far as I know that the NFB is, stationed there and stuff like that, but that was my real first introduction to like the blind community, the young blind community as a whole, I'll say it like that, as opposed to the elderly blind community. So shout out to Be More, y'all. Be More in the house.
Okay, and last but not least, a little bit different for Hot Seat. Let's go with Jiminy Crickets. So, I'm having relationship issues. First thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Again, I'm having relationship issues. I am a female who thinks her man is cheating. First thing that comes to mind, or first response that comes to mind.
Okay, well, my first piece of advice that comes to mind is, if you're a girl, if you think he's cheating, then he probably is. And I know that probably sounds horrible, but my only thing is that this, and obviously the real main part is that, let's say he's cheating, or if he's not cheating, if you feel like there is some type of reason that you're trusting what he's doing or that he's not doing, then I think it's time for you to question if this relationship is worth being in.
Gotcha. For the guys,
Because obviously you gotta have trust in a relationship. So yeah.
and for the guys, same format.
If the guy thought the girl was cheating, I guess my first thing would be, obviously, with what makes you think that she's cheating, but then probably the same advice to just really say, okay, you know what, hey, if this is something where, because again, right or wrong, or, if the person is cheating or if they're not cheating, if this is something that you truly want to be in, because are you going to continue on, second guessing yourself and being paranoid, or are you going to, cut your losses?
Mm-hmm.
So, the choice is yours.
All right, there he is, Dominic A. Parker. Again, a wonderful, wonderful content creator in my eyes. He's going places. Y'all check him out at blind_justice. Of course, all of his information will be in the description box. Dominic, thanks for joining me, man.
Thank you. And look, as I'm getting ready to wave at both of my hands. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Bye, y'all.
Alright, see y'all later, man. Stick around for the end. We might have something special for y'all. I am Hilarious D. This has been Funny Talk.
Alright.
Guy holding guitar. Image melts away to female singing. Image changes to man playing piano.
Hey guys, I missed you. Did y'all miss me too? Anyways, welcome to the first episode of Coming to the Stage, a singing competition where people within the blind community and outside the blind community have the opportunity to share their talent with you. Think along the lines of America's Got Talent, X Factor, American Idol, then you're on the right track. So real quick, although there's not a lot of contestants this season, we're still going to have fun regardless and see exactly what these contestants have to show us for the next couple of months. So let's go ahead and get this ball rolling. On this episode, rightly named Auditions and Introductions, I'm going to go ahead and introduce each contestant to you, and you get to see a sample of what they can bring to the table. So up first, we have Jeshua Avino. Not Joshua, is one half of the YouTube duo Jesh and Mads, a blind YouTube couple who documents their experience navigating the world around them for you guys as entertainment. Jeshua will be singing an original entitled Hard Liquor.
All right. Dominic, this is my audition for Coming to the Stage. Just so you know, I look a little weird since I just got done with a workout, but that is beside the point. The song I'm going to be doing is part of an original called Hard Liquor that I wrote. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. Hard liquor for hard times, ain't that the policy? Cause damn, the whiskey good, but lately psychology mixed with physio has fizzled out. This physical motivation for getting me to move from satirical points of view I've grown since I was 16. Well, back when I was 13, rainy days weren't the worst thing, cause birds sing whether or not the sky's clear. But since then I've been sipping while they whispered in my ear, you don't gotta fake it, you'll never make it, so I keep moving on. So I started sipping and slipping, now I'm tripping out. I threw my shoes off and kicked my feet on the couch and turned the TV on but muted the sound. Cause when you isolate your senses, you're one dimension. Not to mention you're blending in, they don't pay attention to that boy who's crying wolf, they just call it depression. If I can count it, y'all, how y'all expect me to count my blessings, huh? Yo, how do I count my blessings? A step forward, two back, you tell me keep pressing. You say that the light shines brighter in the dark. Yo, I don't mean to be blunt, but I ain't never seen a spark. It's a long way up from the bottom, but top down it's a far drop. Where are we going? Where do we go from here? Yeah. a long way up from the bottom, but top down it's a far drop. Where are we going? Where do we go from here? Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah.
All right. So, up next, we have our own little rocker, Michelle Jorgensen. A judo para-Olympic participant, Muay Thai, and Jiu-Jitsu enthusiast, she's been singing karaoke for a minute now and wants to show you guys what she got to bring to the table. She'll be singing a rock classic, Don't Stop Believing, by Journey.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took a midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took a midnight train going anywhere. A singer in a smoky room, the smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they could share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. And strangers waiting, walking down the boulevard, the shadows searching in the night. Streetlights, people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the night.
All right, so up next, we have Jenny Rollins. An Egyptian native hailing from Australia with a little bit of a country twang. Here goes Jenny singing You Got Away by Shania Twain.
You got away with me, and somehow you got me to believe in everything that I could be. I gotta say, you really got away. You got away, it seems. You gave me faith to find my dream. You'll never know just what that means. Can't you see? You've got away with me. It's in the way you want me. It's in the way you hold me. The way you show me just what love's made of. It's in the way we make love.
All right, guys, so it looks like we got a little bit of competition in paradise. Up next, we have Madison Javier. The second half to the YouTube team, Jesh and Mads. You know what, guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Y'all, the girl can sing. She blew me away with her audition. So, as a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys tell me what you think. Here's Madison singing Beautiful by Rachel Lampa.
There was a time when I thought I had no good in me. Ooh, was a time when I was too blind to see. But deep beneath the cold defeat under the snow, you could see something in me waiting to grow. A little seed of what I can be. How did you know? You saw my worth and called it forth with your sweet love. You are beautiful to me. Yes, you are. You are beautiful to me. You're beautiful, you're beautiful. Everything is good in life you've given to me. You are beautiful to me.
Okay, guys, so this season, I wanted to try something a little bit different. I wanted to be able to give some of you guys and others that I know the opportunity to get out here and promote some of their stuff. Because, hey, who couldn't use a little publicity and a little bit of sharing? This next section is going to be called The Showcase. Now, from this episode and episodes going on forward, I wanted to give some of my friends, associates, and others within the blind community and outside the blind community the opportunity to share some of their talent with you, but not necessarily participate in a competition. So, up first, we have 1/3 of the rap group CBM, otherwise known as Cheshire Bridge Mafia. Julian Williams, otherwise known as Yo Jules, has been putting out rap hits since the mid-2010s. So here is Yo Jules with Road to Riches.
I don't know, I just do music, see you, nigga. Boy. Chill. Acid rock. 2 out. What happening? Let go. On my road to these riches, all I see is weed, alcohol, and some bitches. And I really hate it though. The speed limit here seems so damn slow. But I keep on trucking, and I keep on fucking. On my road to be free, seems like everybody passed by me. These are beats, I've been caged too long. My vocal cords hurt, I ain't sang a new song. So here goes nothing. Tired of these fake niggas always frontin'. But that's what they do. Hope these faggot niggas ain't worried about you. Cause I stay above water, never going under. You can ask your grandfather. Your baby mama too, she know the business. I give it to her every night, I'm so relentless. It seems I have no remorse. Hope the right path don't take the wrong course. But I stay on the highway. I mean I stay getting high, hey. Until a brighter day, I'm staying on this road, I will never turn away, yep. On my road to these riches, all I see is weed, alcohol, and some bitches. And I really hate it though. The speed limit here seems so damn slow. But I keep on trucking, and I keep on fucking. On my road to be free, seems like everybody passed by me. I'm pulling off, changing gears in the high speed. I see you later, dog, I'm in my league. No one around, no one here, just the fresh air. I walk outside, people giving me a cold stare. And I don't care, they don't know me nothing anyway. I open up my lungs, inhale some purple hate. And that's okay, if you do it like the thugs do. You hear them haters talking, all I tell is fuck you. The world over now, time to bring it to an end. Now you can't tell me that you happy with your life of sin. But you can tell me that, but it wouldn't be true. They holla fuck me, I say I love you. That's what my plug do. He say he love me too. I bring him all the money, he give me all the flu. It make it sick, don't it? When you own it. Drugs are bad, I don't condone it. Yes, I use it, don't abuse it. Try and use it, make some music. Help the people, it's a sequel. I'm on the road and I need you. Chill. On my road to these riches, all I see is weed, alcohol, and some bitches. And I really hate it though. The speed limit here seems so damn slow. But I keep on trucking, and I keep on fucking. On my road to be free,
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this on up. Now that you've had the opportunity to learn a little bit more about our contestants and see what they're bringing to the table, let's go ahead and furthermore explain what this process is going to go like. On each Monday, I'll be posting up an episode where I challenge each of the contestants to cater their talent to a task that I have for them. Now, hopefully, this challenge will take them out of their comfort zone and you get to see their talent at its full best and to see their range that comes along with them being within this talent show. There are 7 challenges that will take place. After they complete all 7 challenges, I will make a compilation video for each of the contestants. It's then where you'll watch, compare, and vote for who you think should win this season of Coming to the Stage. Now, if you haven't done so already, please go like and subscribe to Blind_Justice, the way I see it. And if you have any questions, feel free to step out and message me. But other than that, you guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be hollering at you on the flip side. Bye.